Good morning. So let's start the next part, that is the trophic level. That is, we were still continuing with the functions of the ecosystem, and today's topic is trophic level. Or the energy flow part we are actually going to study. And for that energy flow, we have to first know what is trophic level, what is a food chain, what is a food web. Okay. Now, trophic level means it is just a stepwise division of food chain. That means how each and every organisms are divided into different steps, and each step constitutes a trophic level. Now, for arrangement of a trophic level, the first trophic level always is occupied by the producers, that is the green plants, which produces the food, which has the capacity to produce the food by photosynthesis. Next, these plants are eaten by the herbivorous animals, so they occupy the second trophic level. And again, these herbivores are eaten by the carnivorous plants, so they occupy the third trophic level. Simultaneously, so these are the primary carnivores. Now those primary carnivores eaten by secondary carnivores, fourth trophic level, like that up till 4, 5 or 6 trophic level we will get. So this is the main thing for studying the food chain, for studying the energy flow system. So we have to know what is actually a trophic level, and the species which are belonging to a trophic level and which will exploit a common resource or base. That means what happened? Now this is the producers, this is the species of one particular trophic level. So they will, what happened? They will all produce food. How? With the help of solar energy. So all are utilizing a common source. Now these herbivores are dependent on the producer, so they are utilizing the green plants. So they are dependent on a common source, and these group of species are known as guild. Okay, these are the grazing. And basically these herbivores, they are called the guilds because they are all dependent on this particular product. Okay, the producers. That's why they are called guild or grazing animals. Now, after trophic level, we come across the word food chain. Okay. Now, food chain means what? It is a process or phenomenon of eating and being eaten. That means someone is eating something and again it is being getting eaten by some other organism. Now, for example, let's take this is a food chain. Grass. This is the producer, first trophic level. Okay, they will produce the organic food. This is eaten by grasshopper. Okay, the grasshopper is again eaten by the frog. Frog is eaten by snake. Snake by the peacock. So ultimately, what happened? This trophic level, second, third, fourth, fifth trophic level are there, and all together these are, one is dependent on the other. One is eating and other is getting. Again, it is getting eaten. Now this is eating the grass and eaten by the frog. Frog is eating the grasshopper, eaten by the snake. So this particular chain is known as the food chain. Now we find three different types of food chain: the parasitic food chain, the detritus food chain, and the grazing food chain. Parasitic food chain, it begins with the host and ends in a parasite. Now for example, the producers, after their death, they are, or during the lifetime, they are acted upon by the parasite. So that is a parasitic food chain. Detritus. Detritus we already have studied in the last class. During decomposition to detritus, that means the food that is being decomposed. So in detritus food chain, what happened? That the detritus is acted upon by organisms, detrivores, and they are again eaten by different type of organisms. Like for example, detritus acted upon by earthworm, earthworm eaten by sparrow, sparrow by falcon, like that. That is the detritus food chain. The most common one is the grazing food chain. Okay. Grazing food chain means it includes the normal herbivores, carnivores, all those type of organisms. That is the grazing food chain. And in the grazing food chain, actually it becomes easier to study everything. That is food chain, food web, all the concepts are easy to study in this grazing food chain. Now this is a grazing food chain. Grasshopper, frog, snake, peacock, this is a grazing food chain. Okay. Now, after food chain, we come across food web. Now, what is actually a food web? It is a network of food chains. That means many food chains are sometimes what happen are interconnected, and that interconnection, it forms a web-like structure. Now we know what is a web, isn't it? So that is known as the food web. Now for example, you take this one, vegetation. Okay, these plants are eaten by deer, deer eaten by tiger, or the vegetation is eaten by rabbit, rabbit by jackal, wolf, tiger, vegetation eaten by shrew, shrew by fox, wolf, tiger, mouse, wildcat or fox by wolf, tiger. So what happened? Each and every, now see, this is a food chain, this is a food chain, this is a food chain, this is a food chain. So all these food chains are interconnected by the primary and the top carnivores. Okay, primary trophic level, first trophic level and the top carnivores or the last trophic level. That's why this particular structure is known as the food web. Now, food web actually it is never straight. Now, it is always interconnected, isn't it? That's why it will never form a straight line or not a straight thing. It is just, it will traverse through different organisms and ultimately reach the top carnivores. Okay. Now, after we come across food chain, food web, trophic level, the main thing that is the third part of the function of the ecosystem is the energy flow. Now, for energy flow, actually what happens? Energy flow is always unidirectional. That means sun will provide the energy to the green plants and green plants will provide the energy to the herbivores. But this is never reversed, okay? The green plants cannot give the energy back to the sun, or the herbivores cannot give back to the energy to the green plants. So, energy flow is always unidirectional. And the solar energy, which is the main source of energy, a part of it is used by the green plant, during photosynthesis, and that which is converted or given to the other trophic levels. Now, here two laws of thermodynamics are applied for studying the energy flow. Now, we know the laws of thermodynamics. The first law states that energy can neither be transferred or transformed, but neither can be created nor destroyed. That concept we have already studied earlier. Now, so, and the second law of thermodynamics again, okay, that here energy is properly utilized. Now, these two laws of thermodynamics now are useful for governing the main concept of energy flow. Now here basically we follow a 10% law which was proposed by Lindemann. That means what happened, according to this 10% law, whatever amount of solar energy will be provided to the plant is only an amount of 10%. That means only 10% of the total solar energy is utilized by the plants. Again, from the plants, a 10% energy is provided to the herbivores. Again, the 10% provided to the carnivores. So, in that particular way, 10% energy is being provided to the next trophic level, and thus the amount of energy get reduced step by step. So, that particular law is known as the 10% law of energy flow. So, now this is the main thing of energy flow system. Now, you have to go through the books also properly, each and every step what is being described here, okay? And if you find any problem, then please consult, but study well all these parts.